What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. Ammo test series number 22 for 10mm. Today we have a 180 grain jacketed hollow point Colt branded defensive ammunition that is made and distributed by DoubleTap. It's a decent looking little hollow point. Don't know how it's going to perform yet, but there's nothing else on the box to indicate velocity or anything like that. We're going to have to figure it out. It just says Colt defensive ammunition, 180 grains. Let's see. We're going to test this ammunition today using a 5-inch 1911 Colt Delta Elite and a 3.8-inch XDM Elite from Springfield. Red dot, iron sight. We'll shoot each one of these firearms through the chronograph, trying to get as many of these X-rings as we can from 20 feet away. We're going to test accuracy and get an average of foot-pounds and velocity. We're going to move the chronograph to right in front of the gel so that we can try to capture the velocity of the bullet that's entering into the gel. And as far as the gel goes, we have two 20-inch clear ballistics gel blocks, 10%. They're definitely well used. We have a catcher block here in back that's totally been beat up. The one in front, I think I've kept the hits high enough where hopefully we can get 2 hits below these. No matter what, I'll make sure you get something good to look at. I know some people are going to complain that it's not a brand new block, but we've already done a test to prove that it doesn't affect a block once you shoot a block. And as far as getting a clear picture, we'll get you one. But trust me, these things are really pricey and they're not easy to remelt either. So the bottom line is we're trying to get as many uses as we can out of them in between remelts. But anyway, enough talking. Testing's been explained. Let's get to shooting. All right, let's start off on that left B8 target with 5 rounds through the XDM Elite 3.8-inch with the red dot. Right on the X at 1122. Feels pretty stout in the hand, but manageable. 1123. And it goes right where that red dot is aimed at 1129. We have 1127. It's staying pretty consistent with itself. That was right on the X. And bang, we got them all in the X circle. 1128. Man, that is some super consistent ammunition. It shows it on paper. It locked back, emptied out. Wow, that's really cool. Let's go take a look. 1128, 1129, that type of velocity. Sure, we could get a little bit more out of 10mm, but I think we better wait till we see what it does in the gel, because right there, that is super consistent. They might have found a sweet spot for it. They might actually be trying, but that is very nice, at least out of that XDM with that red dot. Holy crap, I love it when that happens. Let's try the 1911. All right, now 5 rounds out of the 1911 on the right B8 target. Pressure's on to try to make the 1911 keep up with that accuracy right there out of the red dot. Nope, I already blew it, but 1200 feet per second right on the nose. That's pretty cool. That's good. I like that. We got one in the X-ring at 1188. And 1193. 1194. And 1184. Lock back. They all ran through. Let's go take a look. All right, something about that lighting today is making me shoot a little high. So when things go wrong, we're consistent up here, and then when things go right, I get back in where it's supposed to be. I'll definitely take it. It's within that defensive zone, that size. I'll take that any day. I had better luck today with a red dot, but I'm saying my lighting conditions for sure are playing into this. I usually shoot pretty darn good with that. I almost forgot the name of it, Colt Delta Elite, but we also shoot pretty good with that red dot when it's on also. So definitely acceptable out of both of them. I'll take it. Let's see how we do in gel. All right, since my aim is really good with this red dot for this ammo right now, I'm actually going to try to put this a little bit high and to the left to try to avoid a previous hole. We'll see if that's a good idea or not. We are 15 feet off that block and chronograph. And maybe that worked. 11:31. $11:31, and there's where we landed with that one. It was actually a good shot. It worked out pretty good for that gel. All right, and you can see it on the top. That's the very top wound channel. I'm gonna go, usually I don't start at the top, but we'll do it this time. Pretty good entrance wound, nothing that is not been seen before by a jacketed hollow point. It settles down there about halfway through, and eventually you see the bullet landed right there. It definitely smushed and mushed itself around. I'm not sure exactly how it's oriented. I think it's facing just towards us. So looking at it down from the side, it definitely mushed itself open, mushroom pretty good. I'd say it's landed at about 13¼ inches maybe, but it has a bounce back from at least 14 inches. You can see how it has that track riding back right there, just your average jacketed hollow point type of track. It has a pretty good... I lost my mic, but that's okay. I can overlay it. What we're looking at here, just a different angle. You do see a pretty good expansion right there for the initial wound cavity. It settles down like most of these hollow points do. And then there comes the rest right there at about that 13 and something inch mark facing towards us. Looks pretty good, actually. All right, let's see if things change at all with the 1911. I'm going to go for the lower right portion of that block. And I don't know exactly how it's going to hit, but... I think that should be a pretty good one at 1180. We have 1180. And looking at it from the side, that's a pretty interesting one. We have like a blade effect right there. Something sheared really weird in that wound channel. The beginning of the wound channel looks pretty nice, goes up to about 6½ inches, and then whatever happened right there. It lost a piece of copper. That could have something to do with it. That's at about 10 inches. See that piece of copper hanging out right there. And then it continues on. It goes just a little bit farther. It's definitely mangled. You can see its brother is right up there, and then there's where this one landed. This one is definitely right in the middle of 13½ inches, but it has a bounce back from at least 14½ inches. Sometimes these things go a little bit farther, and then you don't see the total wound path. It collapses in on itself just a little bit, but definitely sitting at a solid 13½, where the other one I would say is sitting at 13. I'll look at it from kind of a corner angle here. You can see it's good wound track there, and then whatever happens with that piece of copper I think has something to do with this, because that's a pretty weird looking little slice, or that's just the way it ends up looking. But totally mangled bullet right there. It's kind of facing downwards and towards us. If I come up from the top, you're gonna have to look in between these two, but it's worth looking at eventually. Nothing special here in the beginning. You see the same thing down there where it lost its piece of copper, but right there you see it's facing downwards, and the copper jacket is peeled and petaled back and mangled big time. That's where its friend is, sitting right next to it with a totally smashed up front. Keep in mind when you're looking at this, you're looking at a 20-inch block, so compared to some of the other gel tests you might see out there that are using 16-inch blocks, most of those are 16-inch blocks. We always use a 20-inch block though, so perspective can change just a little bit. Let's get these dug out and see what they actually look like. All right, here we have the XDM Elite, and there we have the 1911 Colt Delta Elite. Definitely the Colt Delta Elite with a 5-inch barrel mangled this thing just a little bit more. This looks a little bit more uniform here, but they both did what they're going to do with that kind of a hollow point. Flipping them over and seeing what they look like on back, we actually lose the jacket off of that one. So that one, the cup and core separated out from the jacket, and this one seems to be pretty intact. Those all folded in on themselves nicely, and those really folded in on themselves. And that's pretty cool because you can actually see what the copper or the lead would look like if the copper wasn't there. But pretty good amount of base left to them, and yeah, they would be rocking, rolling, tumbling, and doing some damage all the way through. So there you go, Colt branded, double tap, jacketed hollow point, 180 grain, 10mm ammunition. tested. Let me know in the comments what you think about this testing or this ammunition. If you don't know about our ammo test series, we do it in multiple calibers, and like this one is ammo test series number 22. That means there's 21 behind it, so go check out our playlist. There's got to be something that you like in there. If you like 10mm, we've tested some kind of ammo that you like. Hope you enjoyed this testing. Thank you for watching this testing, and until we see you next time, stay safe, have fun, and keep shooting.